got back, 10 days on holiday, Turkey. Thought I'd come up, check my Daphnia. I'm doing lovely. I thought the tank sounds quiet. Check the fuse, nothing. Looks like the pump's packed up. And I don't know where on earth all that crap in the bottom of there's come from. That actually looks like soil. So I don't know what earth's been going on. But that's my old mucker Dave's, that is. So I've got to take that apart now, and I've tested the fuse is alright, the electric socket's alright. So what I'm going to do is take that into the lean-to and have a look, see what's wrong with that. Normally the diaphragms are good, but that's just totally dead. Welcome back. Fleas, still got them. Bought the air pump in, the lean-to. Just took it apart. It's actually red hot. My grandson's been looking after my dog. And I've just walked around now, so there's no air on the pond. And these was changed. This is one I borrowed off Dave. Sorry about the camera. These are what I borrowed off Dave. 12th of the 10th, 24. And I don't think he's used it, if I'm honest, but I've messaged him anyway. He started making a noise when I took the cover off. But at least I know now. It's unusual for them to pack up. It's normally these that go on them. So I can get these out now. It's absolutely, look at the crap inside that. It's obliterated it. So I'm going to take it apart. You've seen these done before. I want to take this apart anyway. Get the sizes. See if I can order some. Well, it never rains, of course. I just thought I'd clean my filter up before I went away. I've been away 10 days, obviously. Grandson and I have been feeding the fish. Checked in bubbles already. Grandson's been looking after the house for me. Don't think he's been feeding the fish a lot, but I can't believe how much crap's in here. So I've come check my filter. Thought, looks dark. I've not turned the UV on. The UV bulb's gone. Oh, it's good to be home. Just trying to work out how I'm going to get that black stuff out the bottom of the tank. Really ain't got a clue what it is. So picking it up very good on the camera, but it's everywhere. So I've just got some stuff on my table. I think I've got a week, 2 weeks before the fish arrive. So I'll take you around and show you what I'm thinking of. Sorry about the camera work. As you know, I've got this little pump which struggles to run that pressure filter. As you can see, I've got this on here. So I'm going to put that on the top for the outlet. And I've just been and got that out my shed. So I'm going to put that, if it'll fit on the end of that, to use it like an hoover. And hopefully I can dangle this part here on the bottom of the tank and just suck up the black crap out the pond. So I'm going to set that up and see if it works. The only downside is I got on off switch. They'd be plugged in. What I don't want to do is empty the tank. Not that you can empty that quick, but it's trying to direct that and direct the end of the pipe as well. I'm hoping all the water can flush down here. So I'll get my tripod, set it up and set this up, and we'll see what happens. As you can see, I've got my power supply there, pushing and pull out. Hopefully I don't knock it in the tank. Pipe there, holding with the bricks. Again, sorry about the camera work. I don't know whether you'll see what I'm trying to do. Let me flick it around. Try it the other way. The only trouble is this way, you're going to see what you're watching. don't know how much you're going to see what I'm doing. I'll check the video before I this is going to suck so quick. Everything I can actually see it. I can actually direct the Hoover with the cable. So anyway, let's go. Working, that's right. Just the pipe so heavy with the water in it. Try to control it. Yeah, that's going to see it sucking that crap up off the bottom. Bit awkward. Can't get it as flat on the bottom as I want to. Bit right down the corner. I just don't think this pipe's long enough. See if I get Mason's net in there. Is it stuck to the bottom? Got it everywhere. Using the net to direct it. I don't know what it is on the bottom. colour screens I'm going to get it. Pull that backwards now. It's actually sorry for me to out the tank. Homemade hoover pump. Bit awkward, but better than what it was. Maybe from this. Some of that looks actually like fish waste, if I'm honest. Just madness where it's all come from. And there's been nothing at all in the tank. I'll just put the hose on now and top that back up. Clean that net out after. Quite happy with that. Oops. Here I am. Remember I've said on a previous video, Missy bought some seeds. Just leave me mortar. Over them 10 days the leaves was like that. They were opening up like that, so they actually look like them going mouldy. Whether that's how they're supposed to be or not. I've just topped it up with water this morning. Supposed to just empty it out and fill it up with warm tap water. So I've got a floating net I've got to give in here, which I'm thinking of putting them in. I don't know yet. I might just put them in the big tank. So I'll try and keep as much as I can out of this as possible for the fry. You think I can get an amalgam light for that tank? I'm all about 880 cm and I need one. I think it's 35 cm I think. Just can't get one for love and money and I ain't paying 128 quid for the bulb. No way, Jose. Who said keeping coins cheap? I don't think so somehow. So anyway, I'm happy with that. I'm going to get my hose pipe on now, put the trickle in and top that back up again. Topping the water up now. As you can see it's just trickling a little bit. Big shout out to Scrag68. Champion bloke, you can probably see. He's giving me a load of polycarb. I am hoping to block the one off with the polycarb I've had off him. This one here, I've just marked it off, chop that corner off, bring it back this way. There'll be just a slight gap at the front and at the back. I'm hoping to push it back to the back, put hinges on the back, so I can lift it up this way. I'm putting this on now, just stop all this crap dropping in the water off the plants, sugar daddies and stuff. Before I cut that up, if you remember our previous video, I bought a fish feeder and I ordered the digital one and they sent me analogue or whatever you call it, I don't know. Just push button one. So I just had a message, soz law, right, I'm doing a video and I get a message. Anyway, I'll flick around and show this one, then I'll have to go and shoot. So this is the one I opted for. The other one did have 3 feeds. I believe this one's got 7, which means I'm only going to have to run the one. What I need to do is set this up. I'm just going to pop out now. I've got to go and fetch some brushes for my green filter. I've got some, but the plastic rings on the top keep snapping off. I did ask somebody if they could get them copied with an hole in so you could force them onto the the steel rod. But you know, these people that say like, oh, if you had a share I'd have got you some, and then when you asked it, I'll get them. So I'm going to leave that as that is there. I'll go and fetch these brushes. I think there's 10 brushes, I think, for a tenner, something soft like that. I've used them once, look fairly new. And we'll come back and we'll set this up, find out where I'm going to mount it, and then obviously I can make an hole or whatever it is I want to do to allow the feed to drop in. But that's how it looks. If you remember the pot before, oops, sorry about the camera, the pot before, I don't know, it's on the front, I think it was on the top, but we'll have a look when I come back, read the instructions, and we'll be from there. See you in a minute. Yesterday I set the feeder up for Mason's tank. I put it on 3 feeds, pair feed, so I'm going to flick it around now and show you how much feeds come out. Probably just about enough. So I'm going to tip that back in the pod or pot and wait for the next feed, just to make sure that I've done another feed overnight, which it shouldn't have done. So I'm going to go from scratch and check it again. Quick look at the fish. Water's murky, the amalgam lights finally packed up. Struggling to find one. Sent a couple of messages out to different companies waiting for a reply. Been watching Andy, Kaipon Lifestyle. He's been using a product which I've ordered. See if that'll help it out while I'm waiting for this bulb to arrive. When I get it, I'll show you what it is. While we're me by the pond, a few videos ago, I mentioned this plant in this pot. I think I've killed her. They're looking very good. I've moved it. This plant here, you probably won't know until it's flowered. But if you can guess it right, I'll do a bit of a giveaway. I don't know what yet. I think it'd be a few months before that flowers. Fish are all looking great, thankfully. As you know, the diaphragm has went in Mason's air pump, what I borrowed off Dave. I've ordered some of them. They may arrive until Saturday. It's Wednesday today. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw that little pump in just to circulate the water. I cleaned all the crap out of it yesterday. So I'm just going to get that now, throw that in the tank, and I'm going to try and make him a lid. Just trim the corner off. Got me some aluminium tape. Just going to run a bit of that down there just to block these holes up here like the rest of it. I'll pop down the hardware and get me some brass hinges and a couple of brackets. The shelving I made for the hole. I think the hole's a bit too heavy for it, so the shelf's leaning forward. So while I'm fetching the hinges, I'll get a couple of brackets, put under both shelves so they look the same. So I'll get this taped up now and then measure out where the feeder's got to go through. Well, that's a bit of a shame. Scrag, couldn't have got a better piece. Nice bit of a gap there till any gas is off. The only downside is the feeder needs to go that way, so I can see the clock, which means it's got to go that side. I don't want it that side because it gets the sun, and if I turn it round I can't see the clock. And the other thing is as well, if I leave that on there, the lid will lift up, because the lid's got to lift up that way. Put my hinges on the back. So I'm going to try and make do without this piece on the top, which is a bit of a shame. really don't want to do that. I don't want to put it this side. Just grab it and have a look. Just gonna have to sit somewhere like that. But to put that there with that on, to cut the square out that, it'd probably just lift up it. Oh, I'm absolutely gutted over that. I'm just waiting for the feeder to go off, so I suppose the only way around it is the feeder does swivel, so I'm going to need to lift the lid up and just swivel it round. Again, when the sun comes up, the sun will be belting down on that there, which I don't really want. Unless I get it by that post there. I'll have a mess around. I'll get back to you. That's a bit of a shame really, because I can fit it there, but I think to lift the lid up I'm going to have to cut the square out probably this far, so when the lid lifts up it's got to go past the height of that, the distance to that, so I'm going to have a great big square out here. Could probably cut an hole out there where the feed drops through, and then just twist the feeder out the way. Get me pod and I'll see if I can set it up and show you. Better watch, because I've obviously got feeding. I'm waiting for the feeder to go off. So this base here I can screw to the bottom of there, underneath that. Cut a small hole out for that. In fact, if I just turn that to show you. Ah, that's what I want to do, look. Cut a small hole where that feed is, and then turn it, but as you can see, as soon as you touch it, it releases the feed. Unless I just do it freestanding like that, then I just pick the feeder up and move the feeder. I think that's the only thing I'm going to be able to do. So all I've got to do then is just pick that up, open the lid, and then put that back down. Let's stay like that, or will it tip over? Chance something's going to fall in the pool without a screw in it. Yeah, that's all I'm going to have to do. I'm just going to have to leave it like that. Leave it there. That way I can put the pot back on the top so I can fill it up more. Then when I want to lift the lid up, just remove the old feeder. Oh no, that's made it too top heavy now, that is. That's going to have to stay off. It's going to have to work like that. Right, I'll just clean this mess up. Pop down the hardware, get myself some hinges and a couple of brackets for them shelves. And we'll make an hole here for the feed to go through. I'll get back to you in a bit. Sorted the lid, just put new tape all the way around, even though it's got some on. few holes in it, so replaced it all. Tried it, okay. Wife's going to fetch some hinges and fetch some brackets for them shelves. I'll put them up later. As you know, the diaphragm's gone in the air pump I've had off Dave. Don't tell Dave. You better believe it, Bandingos. So what I'm going to do, you see me use this pump before. It's just a small fountain pump. This struggled and kept packing up, trying to use my pressure filter. And I've said before, the backflow of the water going back in stops it from working. That's what I'm assuming. So all I'm going to do is put this in here to get a flow in the water rather than just lie dormant. Also, again, Scrag 68 sent this for Mason. So I'm going to find some way to put that up. Cheers again, Scrag 68. Get over to his channel, subscribe to him. Good lad. So I'm going to get a screw, probably, oops, put that on that post there, move them nets, find somewhere else to put them nets. I'm going to find somewhere to put that anyway. As you can see, the wife's just come back from the hardware. 2 brackets, one for the owl, one for the parrot. That's for brass hinges. They've got brass plated, so I said bring me stainless. Nearly died, 16 quid. But it's a pack of 4 in there, never mind, it is what it is. I'll get them on the baby's lid now and then find an handle out and put a handle on for him. The only problem I'm going to get is somehow I've got to be able to screw the hinges onto that and then fix the hinges to this. This is what I'm worried about. It's obviously plasticate, so just getting screws into that without damaging it. Ideally I could do with nuts and bolts. I think I've got some of them, well, I'm sure I've got some of them on the boat, so we'll have a look anyway. Got the pumping, as you can see. Just want the water to circulate rather than just stay dormant. Just keep an eye on that, make sure it keeps working. That's lovely jubbly, I'm happy with that. Nothing in this tank at all, no salt, no chemicals, no nothing. When I first started off with fish, many years ago, the aquatic centres used to say, just leave your water for a month and just let it do its own thing. So hopefully I'm doing the right thing. I've got my best mate Dave coming over. Twat. He's going to help me go through a few things. The feeder there, the pellets I've got in that feeder, I ate the pellets I'm going to be feeding the fish, the fry. The fry come with the food, so we'll see what that food is. Have a get together with Dave, sort the heat out, hence this lid to keep the heat in. Sort the heat out, find out what temperature I've got to get the water to before the fry come. I think there's about 2 weeks if that. So I'm looking forward to that. So is Mason. It's good at the moment. And then hopefully I'll then diaphragm Saturday, get the filtration up and running again and get things moving. 2 things we've come across. One, the screws are way too long to get through the lid, and also just a little bit too long for the timber, which ain't too much of a problem. It's how the fish are going to jump that high. What I could do is put the screw through, take them back out and then chop the end off once they're in, and probably the same with the lid. I'm just concerned that this might be too brittle, because these hinges are nice and smooth. I thought there's 4 in the pack, there was 3. These are nice and smooth, but might be a little bit stiff for this. I'm wondering whether a nut and bolt with a washer behind there that'll hold it better. So I'm going to try and get on the boat and see what I can come up with. Here we go again. Pump's been running for 10 minutes. It's died to death already. Whip that out. Have a look at my filter house and see if I've got another one. Oh, they're cutting buns out. What I wanted to try and do before I actually put the hinge on the lid, I'm going to try with this offcut. First I'm going to drill an hole and then put that through. Small hole just to make sure that don't crack. Then measure the length and chop it. I'm almost sure I'm going to have to put either a piece of wood or something behind there, because I really don't think that's. We'll try anyway, we'll see. I don't think that'll hold it, if I'm honest. Ideally it needs a nut and washer, nut and bolt with washers. So the washer then will spread the weight over there. But there again, when you've got 4 screws in it, I suppose it could do it. But anyway, I'm going to try it on this piece first, so as not to wreck the lid. The first one I'm going to try with a pilot hole. Just pop and get the hinge, and we can check the hinge first. There's no doubt these are going to end up on one of them bars. So I'm going to try. I'm going to do all 4 just to see how it reacts to the plastic. Move that off the glass table because I'll see what's going to happen there. I don't think that's drilling an hole, I think it's just poking it. I think it's just poking it through the plastic. Get that square somewhere like that. Pulled up rather nice. I'll fetch another screw. Be a good idea. See by the size of these. So what I'm going to try and do now is chop get a cutting disc and chop that off. But that's solid, that is nice and tight. Look at that, so you can leave the lid. Very nice. Expensive, but a nice bit of kit down. That's just with 2 screws in. I'm going to mark these 2 screws up, chop them off, and then try them again. Better mark them up first, haven't I? You plonker the old boy. I've got some stainless steels on the boat, just too lazy to fetch them. So I'll get my marker pen anyway, cut them off and I'll come back. Another change of plan. I've changed the hinge the other way around. As you can see, you've got this here. So if I can just move this lid out without everything falling in the water. Oops, nearly lost it. That's going to have to sit on the back like that. I'll show it the other way around. So if that's at the back of the tank over there, it's got to lift that way. When I flipped it the other way around, obviously this was on the top, which meant it'd lift the lid above. So I'm just looking at these now and sticking through the top of the lid. So I've just got that piece of wood there. I'm going to sand that down. I'm going to actually fix the screws into that piece of wood just to get it. Once I was there, I got to chop these off really, and that piece of wood I think will just get that extra little bit of strength to lift up and down. So I'm going to sand that piece of wood down and then get these hinges put on. If you ever get in another change of plan. So originally I was going to use this little bit of rough wood which wore quite long enough. So I've looked through all my scrap offcuts, and I found a piece of offcut off the same timber as I've cladded the tank with, so it'll match nicely, and I've just cut it to shape. So that should sit lovely on top of there, and then the screws will go into that timber. I'm just hoping as they'll split the timber. Mark it out careful and do it that way. I'll drill the holes slightly bigger so it does split the timber as well. What I've done, marked my timber, marked it, marked my hinges, drilled an hole. I'm now going to clamp that on there. These clamps, flip it over and then drill the holes that way into the timber because it's really close on the edge. But I'm going to try that piece of wood first, drill the hole slightly bigger so the screws just fit in the wood rather than pull tight. As you can see there, I've pre-drilled that with just a tiny bit, 2.5, and now I'm going to put a 3 in, just slightly smaller than the thread so it don't split the wood. So I'm going to pre-drill that and try it with this first. If it splits I'll use a bigger drill bit. I'll get back to you. Okay, so I'll try the 3.0 in there and it fitted in fine. But that's close to the edge, so I've gone to a 3.2 and I'm quite happy with that now. All that's got to do really is just cover the edge of the thread off the screw. That's all it's doing really, and obviously a little bit of strength as well. So I'm going to try that now with a 3.2 on the piece of wood that I'm using. As you can see now, I've got it clamped up. That hole was already in the plastic by the way, but you can see how close they am to the edge of the timber. I don't want it to split. The same that side. So I'll drill them out now, get the hinges on. So I've just measured the depth because I don't want to go straight through the timber, and I'll put a black marker so I know when I stop there that's deep enough. Hell, you wouldn't believe it, I've drilled them holes in there and the sawdust gone inside, so I had to make 2 holes in the tank there, get that sawdust out. Ew. Good old Scrag 68. When I had that fetched that polycarb off Scrag, Craig if you don't know his name, a good friend of mine, I fetched that polycarb, he got rid of his grow on tank, he got loads of spares left over and he went, mucker, help yourself. So as you know, Black Country Dave got me this blue vat. I did fill this tub up here, but it ain't deep enough. I've got there's 2 pumps in there that I've had off Scrag, both working. Giving them a good flush. I flushed them in there, you can see the crap that's come out of it, look, the dry crap. So I've also got some brushes I bought yesterday for the green filter. They've got the plastic circles on the top to hook them on, all mine have broke off. A net that I had off Scrag as well, that's just a little fish net of the babbies, ideal for when the fishing a bit deeper down. And there's another, his little net here off his tank that he kept. So I've left the pumps on, as you can see, circulating, and I'll leave that on for either a few hours or leave it overnight. I just hope that tank don't burst because you can see it bellying out now. That'll be a disaster if that happens. I'm just going to try and get it up above that net, and then I'll be happy with that then. It's getting close, that is. That's bellowing out quite a bit. I'm still recording just in case that breaks. You can watch it with me. That side's alright, but I think it's because now I thought it was against the brickwork there, but that side's proper bellowing. Not much now. I want to unravel the cable as well and get as much cabling as possible. The one pump, the cable ain't very long, but that pump I had in this morning, I'll cut the cable off that. I've got a proper woodproof connector, so I'll extend that cable. And when they've been soaking this PP, I'll throw one of them in maisons tank, just to circulate the water like I tried to do earlier on. God, that side ain't looking very good at all. Go on baby, just a bit more. Just enough to cover that net. There you go, lovely jubbly. Just get just a little bit extra. That'll do. I'll just get the cable and throw all the cable in there as well now. Obviously not the plug. And just leave that, you can see it circulating round. Just let that do its own thing now. We return to the lid. I forgot that little cable ain't too much to worry about. But then I realised about the two air hoses there, so what I'm going to do, you can see where I put a little black clip there. I'm going to put one that end and one that end, because there's a gap there for the pipe works to enter the water or into the filters. So I'm just going to just hang them pipes in there, because I don't know where to put the black caps yet. Hang them in there, get the lid on, and see if I can get them hinges in without falling in. Lol. Here we go, lid's in place, hopefully. Bit of a gap at the front here, gap down there where the air lines go. There is a gap at the back of that. I ain't too bothered about that. That little bit of wood just sets that off nice. Now we'll try and get over there now. I am going to pre-drill them rather than split the wood, and then obviously put an handle on here so we can lift it up. And what I want to try and do now, I'm just going to try with a cutter and see if I can just nib the ends of them screws off. And what I'll do is, because I've got two packets of these, I'll use one with a spike to put the screws in first, then remove that screw and put the one that I've chopped off in its place, so these spikes now poke through the timber. So I'm going to try and cut them now, and I'll come back and see if we can get it screwed down. What I've done, I've marked the screw, as you can see the red mark, then I've put the screw in the vise, marked the vise. So then now what I've got to do is take that screw out, put the next screw in, so the point's level with that red mark, then I'll know they should all be more or less the same length. Well, let's twist around, see how it's looking. This should be an absolute pain, but let's move that out of the way. Put some P-clips across there. I've lowered that sponge filter there just to see if that'll get a better flow, because the pipe's taller. And the same on that side. I've still got all the, can't believe all the crap in here, and yet the lid's been on it. So that'll do anyway. I'll keep the heating. I'm just going to take this in now. I've had this on all day just to see how much feed it's feeding. It's got 0 there, so I've obviously done something wrong. So I'm going to tap that in the house now and see if I can get this working. I'll move that up there because of the rain. Because obviously on that post there, I'm concerned about this as well now, because I put this here. There aren't many places you can put it really. I'll put it there. If the forecast rain, or when the forecast rain, I'll have to put something there just to block that off. Keep the rain off it. Nothing else I can do about it really. Then the nets and the pumps soaking PP. As soon as they've had a really good dip, I'll put the one pump in here and just keep this water circulating until I get the diaphragms for the pump. Ooh, that kid on his airplane again. Everything's had a good PP, done the nets, done the brushes, done the pumps. This is the pump with the short cable off Scrag, one of the pumps off Scrag. As you can see, I've extended it. I've cut the cable off the small pump I've been trying for a few times. All I want to do is just keep this water moving, stop it going stagnant. Lid's all up and working. Still struggling with the feeder. I think I've sussed it now, 24-hour clock. So I'm just waiting. It's dropped one feed, but it's ain't dropping enough feed. So I'll just have to look into that. All I'm waiting for now is my diaphragms to get Dave's air pump up and running, and then work out some sort of a heater to get the water warmer. Again, thanks to Scrag. Last year he sent me a feeder, auto feeder. I'm just setting it up now. I've got this tray here to try and catch it. That spreads quite rapid, so what I'm trying to do now is build out of a piece of lead just a little hood type of thing to go over there, so it'll spread it, but it'll only spread it that wide. Flick it across hopefully that way. I've got a test tray there at the moment, see how much food it kicks out, but I'm sure that's going to scatter all over the garden when it kicks off. So just as a precaution now, I'm just trying to make a, like I say, a little shelter to go over the top, just to contain it to the end of that tray rather than spread all over the pond. Well, not my best creation, but it's just a trial. Trying to get it in a more controlled space. I will give it a lick of paint if it works. Just waiting now for the feeder to go off, so I just need to get this debris out, get the lead out of it. I don't want to mix it. I've got food in it, so I don't want to mix it with lead. So we'll see what happens when that goes off. Been messing about all day waiting for this feeder to go off. Put the bag over it so it does spread the food all over the garden if it's worked. Oh, look at that. Oops. Oh, that's a bit more than what I expected, but I want to throw that in the pool now and see how they cope with it. That's a lot more than what I normally feed them, but we'll see. Oh, check that bad boy. Just got to find a way now of fixing that on so it don't drop off. That's actually, as the feeder's gone off, rattled that away. So I'm just going to drill and put a self-tapper in there. But I'm going to put the screw in so the spike comes out this side. Hopefully so the food don't stick to it.